So Hillary, my name is Linda, and I'm glad that you did join us today. So today we are honored to have one of our experienced traders as well as an educator who has really helped a lot of aspiring traders who would like to learn, understand on how to navigate the financial markets. And Steve has a lot of experience, over 8 years in the industry. So he totally understands all the nitty-gritties we need as traders to get ourselves to understand on how to navigate the market, add to what maybe we learn from our own navigating to understand on how to go about it. So today's session will just focus on how to simplify forex trading concepts for beginners, as well as including the market basics, anything we need to understand, the trading strategies, the risk management, because risk management is paramount and it's everyone, all the traders usually fail to learn on how to get, or rather to apply the risk management for them to see that they are successful in trading. So we will be able to take you through so that we will be able to trade responsibly. And welcome, Steve Otieno. We really ready to learn. And once we learn, then we're excited even to go to the live market, place our first trade, and see what happens in the market. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Feel free, ask the questions when you can. You can be able to ask on the chat box in there, and welcome on board.
Wow, thank you so much, Linda, for that amazing introduction. Like she said, my name is Steve Otieno. I'm joining you guys all the way from the heart of Nairobi here in Westlands. I'm really humbled to have you guys create time to join this amazing, wonderful session that we are going to have. Thank you so much for sparing time to be with us. I really appreciate you guys being here with us this evening. To all other guys who are joining us from the rest of the world, that is, if you're joining us from east, west, north, south, thank you so much for creating time as well. We do acknowledge your presence. And without further ado, I'm going to jump into today's presentation. Like she said, today I'm going to take you through a very beginner-friendly concept of trading, and it's not going to be something very complex. I understand most of us are coming into the industry trying to find something that is easier for them to consume as beginners and newbies, and so this session is designed for you. So today we are going to cover a platform called EFX Lite, which is one of the amazing products of Empire FX. Empire FX, as you all know, is an online trading company where ideally we, as Empire FX, we connect you to the interbank market. So how that will look like, we will have, say, person A being Hillary, person B being Empire FX, and then person C being the interbank market. So the interbank market can look something like the global financial markets, where we give you access to trade the financial markets. Think of you being given access to trade global stocks, indices. Indices, as we all know, is an index, which the plural is indices. An index is a group of companies. So think of you being given access to the top 30 performing companies in US. That will be Dow Jones 30. You being given access to US Tech 100, which is NASDAQ. That is the top 100 performing tech companies in US, which now comprises of the NASDAQ index. We also give you guys access to commodities. There is things like wheat, cotton, cocoa, and oil. So now we give you access to the UK oil and the US oil, which is UK is Brent, US oil is WTI. We also give you access to currencies, which is something that is so popular in our industry. Most people get in to trade currencies and they like it because of volatility. We'll be looking into in the sessions that are coming, we'll be looking into what volatility really is and why people prefer certain currencies over others. We'll also be looking into how we give you access to precious metals. So you've had people talk about gold and things like platinum and silver being something that has been gaining a lot of popularity in the trading space. We ideally give you access to all those trading or rather tradable assets. So that is the major role of us as Empire FX. Now, for you to access these tradable assets, you need a platform. And that's why we took our time and curated the platform EFX Lite. EFX Lite, like I said, it's beginner friendly. Like when the guys were trying to come up with the platform, they were trying to come up with a platform that a newbie can be able to interact with and be able to place a trade without having much of mental breakdown or mental fatigue of analysis. So we've really tried to come up with an application that simplifies that for our newbie traders, right? So that is ideally how the EFX Lite is coined to help our newbie traders get the best from the platform. So that is what we'll be covering today in this session. Once again, if you have any questions, please feel free to share whatever questions that you might have. In case I've explained something or you feel like I've gone too fast, you have the rights to use one of the emojis there to tell me maybe to repeat, or even you can also use the chat section and just ask your questions over there. And of course, I'll create time and attend to them. Now, quickly, let's look into what trading really is. So at its core, simply what Forex trading is, ideally, it's predicting a change in an asset's value, right? So you would want to analyze an asset probably technically or fundamentally for you to be able to tell if it's going to gain or lose value. Now, that's actually the other beauty of Forex trading that I really liked. Because previously, coming from a background of stocks, and ideally, when I'm speaking of stocks, I want you to think of the Nairobi Stock Exchange. You can only make money one way, right? So if you are trading stocks, say, I'll give an example of EABL, Safaricom, Kakuzi. Let's go with Safaricom. If I'm to make money from Safaricom and maybe I've bought Safaricom at 31 bob, I can only make money from Safaricom if it moves from 31 to 35. The difference there, that's my profit. But now in trading, remember what I mentioned, it's predicting the change in an asset's value. This can be either when the asset is gaining or losing, which is something amazing. So now, like I said, we give you access to global markets. So think of, we've given you access to trade Tesla or even Apple or Amazon or Facebook. So we'll go with the example of Tesla. And you've heard Elon Musk is going to launch a new product of Tesla. And ideally, that will drive the prices up. So what you do is you can take a buy position and make your profit from that. In the event that people have bought Tesla and they start complaining that Tesla is having breakdown issues, Tesla is not performing as expected, then you as an investor, or rather you as a trader, that the shares of Tesla, they are going to turmoil, or rather they are going to take a nosedive. And in that instance, you can sell the shares and make your money if the shares are going down, or if they are selling, or if, like in trading, we say if they're in a bearish momentum. So that's something that I really liked about FX trading, which is really amazing. So let's take a real example of the US dollar, like we know, versus the Kenyan shillings that we are all aware of here in Kenya. So right now, 1 USD is approximately worth 129.05 Kenyan shillings. If you think that the dollar will strengthen to 130, then you can take a buy position or an up trade on EFX Lite. So remember, EFX Lite, its purpose is to really try and break down the terminologies of trading. So that's why you'll notice even the platform, it's very user-friendly. We don't try to bombard you with the forex trading terminologies, and we try to keep it as simple as we can. So if you think the dollar will strengthen to 130, then you can place an up trade. So once again, if you are right and it reaches to that level, then you've made your profit of 0.95, which is the difference. So on EFX Lite, you're not going to, and this is the other beauty of forex trading, you're not going to go to a forex bureau for you to exchange your USD to KES for you to be able to access that currency. Or rather, if you want to trade CHF or JPY or AUD or NZD, you don't necessarily need to be constantly changing your Kenyan shillings to NZD, Kenyan shillings to JPY. So remember what forex trading once again is you trade the contract for difference. So remember, normally for a forex pair, it has two prices. There is the buying price, which is also known as the bid price, and there's the ask price, which is the sell price. Yeah, there's the ask price, which is the sell price. So the difference of those two is what we ideally call a spread, the difference between the bid and the ask price, and it's a very minimal charge that you get to incur for you to have a trade running. But remember, you have the bid price and the ask price on different assets. So something like euro versus Australian dollar, that's euro AUD. NZD versus Japanese yen, that's New Zealand versus Japanese yen. So once you've deposited into your EFX account, you'll have it converted to USD. From this USD account, you can be able to trade NZD JPY because we are trading the contract for difference. That is the difference between the prices of NZD JPY, GBP JPY, USD JPY, USD CHF, GBP USD. All those different currencies is what you'll be participating in. And that's the beauty of us, Empire FX, bringing these tradable assets to you as our dear clients. Okay, so now let's look at how to place your first trade on EFX Lite. Let's look at how to place your first trade on EFX Lite. Now, I'm assuming most of us have created your Empire FX trading accounts. And if you haven't, then I'll be more than glad to show you the process of how you are able to log in into your client accounts. So once you've logged in, then I'll take you through the process of being able to create your EFX account. And then now after that, I'll show you how to link your EFX account to the EFX Lite application on your phone. Okay, so ideally, you'll go to my.empirefx.com, which is the client portal, my.empirefx.com, and it will bring you to this platform. It will bring you to this platform that looks like this. So if you come over here at home, you'll be able to see, not necessarily. Okay, so if you go over here to accounts, you'll be able to see the type of accounts that you can open. Here we have one real account and one demo account. So I want you to come over here at create account. Once you've clicked create account, it brings you to, it will now ask you to choose a platform, either MT5, EFX Lite, and EFX Pro. So for today, like we've said, we're going to focus on EFX Lite specifically. So you come here and select EFX Lite, okay? And then you click continue. So now it's going to ask you to choose if you want. So notice up here, there's live and then there's demo. Ideally, you as a newbie, you should start off with a demo account. A demo account is the type of an account that we have for our clients to help them practice with. A demo account is there to help us put our skills into test. Okay. So once you clicked on demo, then you're going to be asked to choose account type. Now, for us, we have the account type as classic, which ideally will be charged spreads, which is, like I said, the difference between the buy and the sell price in a trade. The currency, of course, you can now either choose if you want to retain it as USD or Kenyan shillings. And the leverage, you can have it as 1:400, which is something that is really awesome. That it's as a you can be able to access a leverage of 1:400, which is as a result of us being under CMA, which is something really good. I know of my friends who are in other parts of the region, for instance, the European zone, who have very little leverage, maybe up to 1:5, 1:10, and that can be very limiting. So now, thanks to us having the licenses from CMA, we give you a leverage all the way up to 1:400. So now you click open account, and then notice what happens next. You're told, thank you for creating an account. Here is your login details. We've also sent you, this is something very key that I see a lot of clients missing out on. We've also sent you an email confirmation. So normally, if you want to log in into the client portal, into the EFX portal now, rather the EFX account, you will have to have these credentials that was sent to your email. So in a few, I'm going now to take you to the EFX app, the EFX Lite app, so that you can see how it appears, how to log in into it, and how to even place your first trades. Okay, so allow me to stop sharing this so that now we can switch EFX Lite. So once again, EFX Lite is an app that is accessible to you through phone. I have lots of traders who have really perfected the art of trading through their phone. Okay, from me, I'm coming from the generation where we used to think for you to be able to be successful in trading, you had to be having a full setup on your PC or laptop. And to be honest, that can be a little bit limiting if you are on the go and you want to see how your trades are running. So that's why for us, we designed EFX Lite on your app, on your mobile phone, as an app for you to be able to access the markets. So just allow me to switch to this other side and share my screen with you so that you can be able to see on real time how the EFX Lite now appears on your phone. Kindly let me know through the comment section or even through the emojis if you can be able to see my screen. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, guys, for the confirmation. So this is the EFX Lite. Already, I have logged in into the platform, or rather into the app. But now I'm going to log out so that now I can walk you guys through the process of logging in. Now remember, on our client portal, we had already left it at where you've been told to go get the login credentials, because remember, you'll use your email and the specified password to log in into your EFX app. So just allow me to log out like that. Okay. Charles is already having a very interesting question over here. Just allow me to respond to this one, where Charles is saying, I am not able to use EFX Lite. I logged in with Google account, no password. Good point, valid point. But Charles, where you missed my point was when I said, ideally, after you've selected your platform as EFX Lite, you are going to be sent the login credentials to your email. Now, okay, the other thing I'm getting is at times we get these emails being filtered by Google for some reason because it's a trading linked details, so it can be filtered and it can go to your spam. So at times, if you look in your inbox, you might fail to see it. So I'm kindly requesting, Charles, if you can just check on your spam folder or junk folder, and you'll be able to get your email and the specified password for you to log in into the EFX Lite. That's okay. So you will use, yes, your email that you've signed up with, and then the specified password for you to be able to link your trading account. Remember, your trading account is what you have in the client portal to the platform, which is now EFX Lite. So let's go over here. If you can see up there, there is our logo EFX, and then there's some 3 lines there. So once you tap on those, it will now ask you to log in or sign up. Click on that. And then once you get here, remember you're going to be asked to key in your email that you signed up with. Just a moment. Okay. So mine, I had already saved it. And then once it's successful, you'll be able to see your name and then the account. Now, let me help Charles so that we can be on the same page. Charles, ideally how this would look like for you. So just a moment. Let me try and share my screen again. So Charles, remember, the login credentials will be sent to your Gmail. Ideally, now let me give you a shortcut for you to get that specified email for the EFX credentials. So see over there and search Match Trader. So this is a keyword that you can actually use. This is a keyword that you can actually use for you to get this specified email. So once you click here, you'll notice there is this email that was sent to you with the subject, your EFX Match Trader portal has been activated. Remember, once again, our work as Empire FX is to provide you with a platform to enable you have access to the tradable assets. That is to the different markets, global financial markets that are there. So we've partnered with Match Trader and even MetaTrader 5. So for those of us who are beginners, Match Trader is specified for you guys, and Match Trader now gives you access to EFX Lite, and later on we'll see EFX Pro, maybe in the next webinar that we'll have. But notice here, Charles, we have your login credentials as below, email and the password. So you'll just key in your email, copy this password, and then come to EFX Lite. So let me share now this other side for EFX Lite. Let me know if you can see my screen. So you move from the Gmail, you go to EFX Lite. Once you get here, remember to key in that email and copy and paste, just for you to avoid maybe putting a certain password that's not maybe a certain character like that. Just please copy and paste it to this platform. So mine had already logged in. So let me log out again. Charles, I hope we're on the same page. And then use the email, the specified email. So just copy it. Then click sign in. Now it will bring you to EFX Lite. For after successful logging in, you'll be able to find your name being displayed over there and your account, your demo account number being displayed over there. So that's how ideally it looks like. So from here, we have feeds. I'm going to take you step by step through every other feature that we have here, their importance and what to make of them, and how we've really simplified trading for you as traders who want to get in and try out trading through this platform. So over there, we have feeds, and we have your USD account, which you can notice it keeps changing. That is depending with how the markets, the trades that are running, it will keep changing from time to time. So notice I had taken a trade on, this was XAU, which is gold versus USD. I had taken a trade on this. So notice the way we've really simplified it. We really don't want you to go through the stress of having to do, analysis, technical analysis, fundamental analysis. We've really tried to make this beginner friendly as we can. So now over here we have feeds where you can see we have gold, euro versus dollar, pound versus dollar, silver, which is XAG versus dollar, GBP versus JPY. So these are just a few of the assets that we give you access to. In case you want to trade any other asset that is not here, let me see. Perhaps you want to trade euro versus JPY. You just come. So notice up there, there's a search bar. You can tap on that. And then now from there, you can search any other pair that is not on it. So if you wanted to trade any other euro pair that is not there, you can just type in euro and it will bring you from euro Australian dollar to euro Canadian dollar to euro Swiss franc, euro GBP. You have euro JPY, euro versus Norwegian krona, New Zealand, all these. So now you can come here and select, I want to trade euro versus pound, GBP. So once you tap on it, just a moment, let me try that again. So once you tap on it, it brings you now to the asset itself. And then it's going to show you where the current price is at. This is just basically an overview, how much it has gained so far up to today. Today it has gained a total of 0.04%. That is the euro versus Australian dollar. So meaning the euro is stronger today with 0.04% versus the Australian dollar. These are just tips that I'm giving you guys on how to understand what is displayed over here, right? So we have what we normally call this currency strength meter. Okay, also notice up there, in case this is your favorite pair, you can just tap on that star that is up there, and then it will add it to your favorites. And then, of course, you can just tap it again, and it will remove it from your favorites. So your favorites, it's like your go-to list. And then overview. So over here, we have, basically, it shows you the performance of the euro versus Australian dollar. So it tells you the economy. Remember, once again, if you are coming into this industry, I want you to understand that you have to know you are trading the entire economy of the euro versus the entire economy of the Australian dollar. Okay, so this is just an overview of what has happened today up to now at 8:40 p.m. of the euro versus US or versus Australian dollar, which so far it's at 0.03. It keeps fluctuating. Now, next to it, we have news. And the news ideally, okay, mine is still loading. The news ideally, it will tell you the certain fundamentals that are coming in from these two economies that are affecting these pairs. You see, the way you would want to put up a business, for instance, because I normally tell a lot of traders who are coming in, please treat trading as a business at the end of the day. And if you are to start your own business, maybe you want to put up a supermarket, a butchery, a thrift shop, there are those certain factors that you consider before you say, I've noticed this gap in this society and I want to put up my butchery business, my supermarket business over here, because you've noticed certain gap, number one. Number two, you've also looked at, there's like a list of things that you consider. You've also looked at infrastructure, you've also looked at security, you've looked at transport. Okay, transport is infrastructure. What else do we consider? But you guys remember what we were taught at business, maybe in high school or even in university. There are those certain aspects that you have to consider before you start your business. The same thing even in trading. Before you take a buy or a sell, before you pick euro now for EFX Lite, is before you pick euro or before you pick Audi. There are those certain things that you have to consider. One of them, we've put it plain, very simply here for you, is news. Now I can see this asset is not really bringing news. So probably, oh yeah, today there might not have been any impactful news that were coming out that's affecting these two pairs. But if you click here on calendar, you can be able to see in the coming days. So for instance, today we are in 26th. So tomorrow at 27th May, we'll have news coming in from ECB, which is European Central Bank. They'll be having a press conference. Now that's a fundamental analysis that's going to affect this pair. So if you're going to trade this pair, then you know tomorrow at 5 p.m., remember we've simplified it. We even put, because remember the time zone of Eurozone versus East African is different. So we've simplified it and we've converted that for you already. That's why you can see over there we have it as 5 p.m. and not European zone, right? So from here, you already know if you are going to trade euro versus Australian dollar, then soon as it hits 5 p.m., then you expect certain volatility. Now, let me give you, ideally, the closer we are getting to 5 p.m. and you have a trade in euro versus Australian, because remember, we don't have access to which side of the market this release is going to favor. It might favor euro, it might favor Audi. Now, in that instance, what I normally advise traders is kindly just exit that trade. With whatever profit you've made, please exit that trade and then let them release that news at 5 p.m. Once the news is released at 5 p.m., give it a few minutes, maybe 5, 10, 15 minutes. Once that volatility, because you'll mostly notice once these releases are done, because then again we'll have inflation rate, year over year, CPI, which is consumer price index, month over month, coming in on 29th. Once we have this major fundamental news being released, there's normally volatility. Volatility, I will easily explain this to a beginner, is the speed. So you'll mostly notice there's a way in which the speed in the markets tend to increase. And that can really shake traders' faith or belief. So perhaps you had picked euro. And then now volatility has come in at 5 p.m. All of a sudden, it's now Australian dollar, which is gaining. So now you can capitulate and maybe find yourself in fear or doubt, and then you come out of the market, and then eventually it goes again into your direction. So my tip to you as a newbie is please just once you've seen this, trade after those news have been released. If you had a trade running at that time, just close it, wait for it to be released. Once it's released, then you can proceed again with your trading activities. So now let's look at how we are going to place our first trades. So remember, first thing, we came here at overview, we saw, well, at the time that we were seeing positive 0.02, which means euro is stronger than Audi, right? But now it's few minutes later, but now we can see it has moved from 0.04 now to 0.02. How would you handle this as somebody who's smart and as somebody, because I may normally say in this industry, we are not forex traders. I want you, by the way, if you're getting in, please always remember you are a risk manager. You are here to manage risks, and that's your number one responsibility, because anything can happen at any time. The Christina Lagarde, who's the president of ECB, she can wake up today and just decide, you know what, you guys, I'm going to increase the interest rates. And once that is done, you can find yourself in quite unprecedented situation. So what you do is you want to learn how to manage that risk that has happened there and then. Like you at some point you have to learn how to have these knee-jerk reactions that will help you manage your exposure in the markets. Okay, so let's maybe take an example of euro versus US dollar. I'm trying to see if this one will have, okay, nice. This one has, so notice over there on the tab of news, we have 18 hours ago, we had updated it to it, telling you there's some very nice info here where we keep updating. And the last time there was some major fundamental release that was happening was 18 hours ago. So euro, basically it was limited upside against US dollar within the neutral band. Now, if you click on this, you can click on this and then you can go read the full article for you to get a better understanding of what's that article really is. And out of this now, you can use this and take your side. You can pick either euro versus the US dollar. So 18 hours ago, then again, we had the euro declining below 1.1650. So let's go back to the overview. And you can actually see so this was 1.650. So at 18 hours ago, euro was at 1.650. Right now it's at 1.6230. It keeps fluctuating, but you can see that huge movement from 1.650 to 1.62. Let me just round it off and take those first three digits after the decimal. So we have 1.65 and 1.62. That right there is a huge move. It's a huge move. Now let's try to make sense of it and understand how we are going to position ourselves on EFX Lite and actually make money, because that's why I believe we are all here for. So once you've received 18 hours ago, trust me, if you had, ideally in trading, we'll call it a sell. If you had taken that sell position, then you would have been in a very nice, right now you'd be smiling because of the amount of profits you'd have made from that time, which is like 18 hours ago. So you've received a news like this. How now do you implement it on EFX Lite? So now we have 1.65, which was 18 hours ago, which ideally would mean the euro is weak, right? And then the USD is strong. So now let's try to understand that on peak euro, because now down there I'm sure you can see there is peak euro and then there's peak USD. What do we mean when we say peak euro, peak USD? Okay, so Over here, if you were to click pick euro, then that would mean you are actually looking for euro to gain, which is not the case. What has happened 18 hours ago was USD is what has actually gained. And if you wanted to make money from this 18 hours ago, then you would have decided to pick USD. So once you click on pick USD, now it brings you to this second interface where it will tell you the current market price, where it's at, and also the balance that is required for you to have in your account for you to open this trade. Now, in advanced terminologies, we normally call this a lot size. But to help you understand it from the word go, we decided to use the balance to open. Ideally, this would be in terms of lot size and margin requirements, but that's way too advanced. Maybe that's another class for another day. But how we've simplified this for you is the balance to open. So this you can increase, because now this 2.91 is the minimum amount of USD you're supposed to have in your account for you to be able to open a trade. Remember, at Empire FX, with a minimum amount of 500 bob, which is like 3.84 USD, you can be able to deposit that, and you can be able to trade Euro USD, which is at 2.91, because remember, you have 3.84 USD. Right here, you're required to have 2.91 USD. So this tells you if you are deposited 500 bob, which is approximately 3.84 USD, then you can be able to open a position on euro versus the dollar. And then after that, now you'll notice down there we have win point versus stop point. Win point is now you've picked the USD to gain versus the euro, which is in Forex terms, we call it you are bearish, right? So you are selling euro versus the USD, which now correlates to the news that we already received that the euro has declined, which means it's weaker, right? So at win point, you can actually come over here and so over there you'll get like a disclaimer. Yeah, if you tap on this, there's like an exclamation mark over there, which tells you, it explains to you what a win point is. So ideally, a win point in Forex terminologies, we call it a take profit. That's what a win point is. I'm sure for those of us who have interacted with other traders so far, you've heard of people saying my take profit was hit, my take profit was hit. So in EFX, we call it a win point. On the other hand, we have a stop point, which in Forex trading terminologies, we have it being called a stop loss point. So a stop loss is, so once again, let me go back and explain it this way. What I really liked about trading is the beauty in which you have every other control over your funds. You have every other control over your funds. Now, remember, like I told you, Forex trading is a business, just like you opening a wines and spirit shop or even a butchery shop, right? So I'll give you an example with the wines and spirit shop, because I was at some point I had the privilege to open one and run it. And one thing I can tell you for sure, I never really had control over the losses that I used to make. If we are being real, you know that in our economy right in Kenya, there are those certain factors that affect that industry that are beyond you. And in a day, you might expect that you are going to maybe just have these few expenses to cover. And it turns out something comes up and the police are at your door and they need you to bail yourself out with 5K or 10K, or tomorrow is 20K. And you have no control over this loss because you never really know when it's going to hit you. But now in trading, and this is something that I really liked, it gives me an opportunity to actually pick how much loss I can stomach, which is the stop point, right? So I can tell it, soon as it hits -1 USD, please close this trade. And if it hits that -1, it closes. Because I also have to be real with you and tell you that trading is not always that you'll be making profits. At some point, losses can occur. Like I said, Christina Lagarde can wake up today and decide to bring volatility into the market and can get you on the wrong side. So in that event, we have a stop point, or rather a stop loss feature, which helps you mitigate the losses. Now, the flip side will be, if I am correct and I've made my predictions very well, right? And this asset is actually going in my direction, then I can actually say when it hits this price level or this amount of money, then take me out with whatever profit I've made. Okay, so that's the win point, the take profit aspect. So if it goes $5, $10 in profit, and you had told it, if it hits +5, take me out, then it will hit +5, and your $5 will be the new balance on top of the capital that you had in your trading account. So once you click on that, it now asks you, do you want to maybe add it +2, +5, +15? So then you can specify. Normally there's something called risk to reward ratio, which is something maybe we'll cover in our next class. But for today, just know you can set your win point, which is your take profit level, as +10. And now you have it as 12. And then your stop point, you can maybe set it as 4. So notice your trade, even though it tells you your trade will close at this price, when the profit reaches 12, soon as it hits 12, takes you out. Your money is deposited into your account. The beauty side is, if you are wrong, and by all means, man, we are not always correct. Stuff happens. President Trump can wake up today and decide, let's have a fight with whatever Middle East country. I don't want to mention names, but it's not even like I'm praying for those wars, but these things happen, right? And now all of a sudden there's volatility and markets are going against you. Now you have a stop point in place which helps you mitigate those losses that you can potentially run into. So your trade will close at that price if the loss reaches at 4. So soon as it hits 4, takes me out. If the market keeps going into losses, maybe in 4, 5, 6, 7, I won't incur all that loss because I already told it, please, when it gets to 4, take me out. And that's the beauty. So then you confirm, pick USD, and that's it. So now over there, you'll notice we have it running at 0.01, which is the lot size, which we've gotten in at that trade. And then right now we are running in a loss of -0.1, thereabout. So now if we are correct, you'll notice that negative keeps reducing. And if we are wrong, then you'll notice that negative balance over there keeps increasing. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you can be able to place your trade with EFX Lite. In the event that you feel like, you know what, I am actually, because listen, I'm not even going to lie to you guys, these things are very normal for you to at times fear. I'm not even going to try and beautify it. Fear, it's very real, and at times you can feel a little bit shaky and you want out. Guess what? Right down there you can see you can exit with that loss there and then. But I really want to tell you, please learn to be patient and just learn to let the trade run and flow by itself. Just place the trade, leave your phone, focus on something else. You can go to TikTok, you can go to Instagram, you can go take a walk, do something to distract you from constantly being on the screen and seeing those numbers running, okay? And so with that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm hoping you've picked something. So far, we can see we have 2 trades over there on the feeds. So there's the gold trade, and then there's the Euro USD trade, which we've placed right now. So you see, with gold, it's been performing very well, and you can click. You don't have to necessarily wait for it to hit your take profit. You can exit like that, and yep, we've closed with that profit, and now we only have Euro USD running. So if you come over here, closed positions, which is your history, you can be able to see what asset you traded, the close time, the time that it was closed, and then the net profit that you've made. And these are just a few of the features, a few of the amazing features that we have on EFX Lite. I'm hoping you guys have really enjoyed the session. This is an app that you can make use of as a newbie and really familiarize yourself with the global financial markets. It's very interesting to see how much technology has really helped us have access to this. What normally there before will be termed as complex, as Empire FX, we are priding ourselves on really making better innovations and really making some good and great, amazing steps towards simplifying this for you, so that if you are a beginner, if you are maybe in the part of intermediate, if you are an advanced trader, you can be able to start from EFX Lite, moving to EFX Pro, on moving to MetaTrader 5. So right now I'm going to take questions. If you have any questions, please feel free to air them out so that I can be able to tackle a question or two. Lewis Gishuki, thank you so much for the question. You are saying, what about on the EFX Lite, perhaps? Yeah, what about the spread on EFX Lite? Now I get your question. Wonderful. Now, it's also fair that you understand, I'm assuming most of us are newbies. It's also fair that you understand what a spread actually is, right? What a spread actually is. Now, remember, on all these assets, maybe if I can choose pound versus USD, there's normally what we call the bid and the ask price. And Lewis, if you can just take your time and do your research, you will come to realize that as EFX Lite, or rather as Empire FX, we have the minimal, like the most minimal spreads that are out there. The most minimal spreads that are out there. So what a spread is, it's normally the difference between the bid and the ask price. Remember, pound has its own price, the USD has its own price. The difference of those two is what we charge you as a client to have that trade on pound versus USD running. So let me show you an example. Maybe I say confirm. So I want you to notice something. Notice it has started with a negative of 0.07. So Empire FX has charged me 7 cents to have a trade on pound versus USD running. That's something so minimal. If we are comparing being charged whatever amount of money we are going to maybe spend on licenses, I'm assuming we are looking at starting a business, right? So think of renting the licenses, the daily expenditure for you to have that shop running. It's so much as compared to being charged 7 cents. So that's what a spread is. So like you've seen, it first starts off with a negative of 0.07. So you've been charged 7 cents, sumuni saba, for you to have that trade running on pound versus USD. I'm hoping I've tackled that well for you, Mr. Lewis. How should I start? How much should I start with? Which is another good question from David. And do we offer stocks and indices on EFX Lite? Good question. Good question. So first, allow me to tackle, do we offer stocks or indices? Which index do you want us to go with? Maybe US. Let me search for. So just a moment. Okay, so from the platform EFX Lite, we don't really have stocks and indices being provided as of now. But now, once we realize that there is that need and there is that market that is constantly there, we will look to update this for you, Mr. David. But now on EFX Pro, which is a session that we'll have in our next, in our future webinars. On EFX Pro, I'm sure you can be able to access indices and stocks. But now for EFX Lite, we have it exclusively for metals and currencies only. So what else? How much let's start with? Mr. David, how much would you want to start your business of maybe wines and spirit? I'm just giving that because it's an example that I've dealt with. The capital is normally intensive in these other ones, right? In these other ones, the capital is very intensive. What I normally advise, thank you, 50,000. 50,000 is ideally what will be required for you to start a business. Say, no, 50, no, to be honest, 50K. Wines and spirit shop, no. But you get my point. For you to start any other business is normally capital intensive. It requires you to have a lot of capital. So I'm thinking if you are to make something sensible out of trading, then you also have to have a very good capital. And this normally doesn't necessarily mean that we accept 500 minimal deposit is what you should start off with as a client, to be honest. I'm just going to be blunt with you and tell you, if you want to make sustainable returns from trading, then you should also ideally have a sustainable funding in your account. Normally, for newbie, I would want you to start off with 50 USD, which is approximately, give or take, 6,500. 6,500. If you compare 6,500 versus what you will even start a business of smokies and mayai pasua, it will probably require more, right? So if you are to start off with maybe 50, 100 USD, that's a good capital for you to start with and experiment and learn with. That's number one. Number two, you also want to have capital that enables you to just test out, because now we have metals, we have indices, we have stocks, as you are learning yourself out. Because to be honest, with 500 bob, which is 3.84, you can't really be able to be in a position to know it's actually currencies that work best for me, or indices, or metals, or commodities, right? So you'll need a good capital for you to test out all this and then be able to narrow down to it's actually currencies or indices that work out best for me. So that's why I normally advise newbies, please start off with something like 50 USD, which is a good capital for you to test the waters with. Let me also mention that we have a running bonus on the same. So for anyone who's going to deposit, say 50 to 199 USD, will have a top up of 50% of that capital. So for instance, you've deposited $50, will give you an additional 25 USD to match up, or even to give you like a cushion whenever you are trading. If you deposit anything above 200 USD and above, so 200 all the way to 5K USD will give you 100% bonus. So you've deposited 500 USD, then we'll also add you an additional 500 USD, and now you'll be trading with 1K USD. And remember, that additional top up is for, it's there to cushion you from volatile market moments, and it's not withdrawable. It's there to help you navigate trading as you're also learning. Okay, so I had seen one of our members having their hands raised. Linda?
Yeah, sorry, it was me, but you really answered it very correct. That you don't need to start small. I've seen beginners even starting with 5K, and this is something which actually I've seen somebody to be able to get the trust, get the knowledge and confidence in trading, but you've really answered it. So thank you. So my arm was a bit put down.
All right, Linda, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Jamal also has a question. Jamal is asking, can someone gain stock points without winning, or are they linked? Can someone gain stock points without winning, or are they linked? Jamal, perhaps if you can kindly give me more context on what you actually mean so that I can be able to understand your question very well and give you a good answer. Because to be honest, I'm not really understanding. When you say, can someone gain stock points without winning, or are they linked? Jamal, feel free to use the comment section to clarify. I'm not so sure if you can be able to unmute because we had a bit of restrictions for this session. Can the point be okay, yeah, I hear you. Can the point be adjusted? Good point. Good. All right. So here we have this one. So yeah, good question. So now I've gotten what you meant. So what Jamal is asking, see, like for instance, when we were placing the order, we had win point and stop point, take profit and stop loss. So he's asking, once you've keyed in your take profit win point or your stop point, stop loss, if they can be adjusted. So let's see. We're just going to do this real time and see if this is adjustable. So far it's just showing. Okay, sorry. We had pound versus USD and then euro versus USD. Oh wow, I really like this feature over here where it's telling you where you actually entered the market, which is something really good. Okay, now to answer Jamal, once you've keyed in your win point, take profit, and your stop loss point, you need to be very sure that that is where you actually want the price to reach at some point. If that's not the case, then you can exit maybe with where the market price is, with maybe whatever profit you have or whatever loss. So once again, you will need to be very specific, because now for this feature, we only wanted it to be very user-friendly and beginner-friendly, and just to help them understand the concept of take profit versus a stop loss. But I'm sure now for the maybe next session we're going to have on EFX Pro, that one is normally adjustable. But now for this one, once you've keyed it in, win point, stop point, you have to be so sure. Otherwise, the only way you're only going to exit that trade is you exit it maybe with the profit or the potential loss that you have. Any other questions?
Some more questions, please.
Okay, we have another one. Does EFX have a withdrawal limit? No, not really. Maybe now, if I'm to understand that in another lens, I would say the minimum withdrawal amount that you can withdraw with us is 50 bob. So yeah, it's 50 bob. That's the minimum amount you can withdraw with us. So if you try to maybe make a withdrawal of 40 bob, 49 bob and below, I'm sorry, it won't be able to go through. The minimum withdrawal we have is 50 bob. Does that answer your question, Mr. Hillary? Thank you, sir. Thank you for the confirmation. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I've really enjoyed having this session with you guys. Thank you so much for creating time to be with us this evening. We really appreciate you guys coming and having the humility to learn, and we really appreciate you creating some few minutes for us to add more value to you guys. From my end to you is adios. In case you have further inquiries, our social media inboxes are free. You can check us out on EFX, on EmpireFX, that is EmpireFX_.ke, sorry, EmpireFX_KE. TikTok, Instagram, please feel free to let us know any concerns that you have, any inquiries that you have. Feel free to walk into our offices. We are at EmpireFX Empress Suits, that is Jalaram Road, that is Empress Suits, 5th floor. Feel free to walk in, ask your questions. We also, part of us supporting our clients is we have a YouTube channel that is dedicated to you. Please check us out on YouTube, subscribe, take time and listen to those educational materials that are there. Check us out on LinkedIn. We normally constantly update some very nice market analysis over there. Feel free to ask anything on the comment section. That is on Facebook, Twitter. Yeah, please also do follow us on Twitter. We really appreciate you guys creating time. There'll be more of this moving forward. We really want to empower our clients and, of course, the Kenyan community, East African community, Africa at large, the whole globe at large, with the right skills, the right education. And part of this is us creating these webinars to help you understand what different products are, from EFX Lite to EFX Pro to MetaTrader 5. So thank you so much, guys. May you have a great evening ahead. Have a wonderful night. We really appreciate you guys creating time. That's all from my end. Thank you. Yes, Linda?
As it is our culture, we do introduce our indicator. On behalf of everyone here, we would really like to say thank you so much, Steve, for taking your time for this insightful presentation. We do value the lessons we've learned, and just be sure every beginner, or rather every successful trader, started as a beginner. So our journey has started today, and we feel we got EmpireFX to hold us along our trading journey or learning process until we find that we are there. We really appreciate everyone who's here. We will be having more, and we will be communicating. If you can get to our live chat, or rather to the chat box for today, you will find one of us email address in case you have something burning, or in case you need any assistance. Please check the chat box. There is an email address. We will be glad to assist you, work with you the journey, and always tune in for such insights. And yes, happy Eid, is it Eid Mubarak, Jamal? And thank you, Steve, again, and thank you, everyone.
All right. Thank you, guys. Have a great evening and Eid Mubarak, Idul Adha to all of us who will be celebrating. Have a nice one. Thank you.
Thank you.